Okay, now we're on to one of my favorite parts about WordPress and one of the most powerful add-ons that you can have within WordPress. So let's go ahead and head over in our WordPress administrative area to plugins, and let's add new. We're going to be working with a plugin called Advanced Custom Fields. This is a free plugin that extends WordPress's ability to make custom fields. And I'll show you what that means here in a second. But this really, really, really makes WordPress more powerful. And the better you get with this and custom page templates and kind of understanding the WordPress template structure and the loop, the larger projects you're going to be able to take on, and the easier it'll be for you to make things that clients find easy to use, and that's really going to increase your pay in the long run because you're going to deliver a lot better results than delivering something where anyone or someone has to call on you every 5 seconds to change their code. So this is a really, really important thing to begin to understand. So let's look up Advanced Custom Fields. First result, that's the one we're looking at. Obviously 2 million downloads, all 5-star ratings. That's pretty cool, and last updated a month ago. So this is a very common plugin that developers are using. And there's all of these other add-ons here that you can see, and you can get pretty in-depth with free and paid add-ons with Advanced Custom Fields. Just about anything you're looking for. If you look around Advanced Custom Fields, they've got a lot to offer to add on WordPress. So let's go ahead and install this basic plugin for now and activate it. And let's get right to using it. So the way we're going to do this is on our homepage template. The way I usually approach this is every section on our homepage that's right now just in HTML, but that could be changed, right? So this is a title, this is a subtitle, and this is a button, and then even this background image. It's reasonable to assume that a user might want to change those at some point in time. Maybe just change the background image, maybe change it from Creative WordPress theme to Creative WordPress theme or template or whatever it is. So those are all things that somebody might change on the back end or want to change without getting into the code. So we want to create a field for them to be able to enter in their content to where it dynamically pulls that content, but the code is never seen.
Right.
So let's just do it with one part, the most basic thing, which is this title, this header right here. And first, I'm just going to walk you through this and do it with you. And we're just going to do it and get involved in it, and then after that, you'll kind of get a hang as we go for how custom fields work. Okay, so let's go to Custom Fields and open it up. And right now, we're going to add a new field group. So there are groupings of fields. If you go to your edit page area, you can look at this home title section and the WYSIWYG editor as one group of fields. This is a field right here where you would enter a title. This is a field where you would enter content. There might be another field after it that you could enter, upload an image. But all of the when you have a group of fields that are all listed together in some organized way, that's called a field group. That'll come in handy later on, just knowing what that is, but it's not extremely important right now. Let's just call this homepage. The name of it's not super important. So this is our new field group. Now here is where you're actually going to add fields. Right now we're just going to add one field. And this stuff we don't need to look at or worry about at all just yet. Let's just add a field, and what we're adding the field for is the title, the main title or main header, I guess. So this is the main header, and we'll call this subheader just for the sake of clarity. So let's call this the label of main header. This is the name which will appear on the edit page, and it automatically assigns it a field name. And basically all that does is makes it lowercase and connects it into one term that you can use to call it. The field's type. Okay, so here's where you can change the type of field, and this is just like creating a custom form that you would create with HTML or whatever. You can have a text area, and all of these are pretty straightforward. You can create a WYSIWYG editor. You can have an image upload option. You can have choices.
And really, you want to make sure you get the right thing here, because based on what we put in here, that's going to limit what the user can input. So if I put a WYSIWYG editor for the header, right, and someone comes in there and enters the whole paragraph, now everything's going to get out of whack and all out of alignment.
Right.
So instead of doing that, if I just enter a text or a text area, I'm going to have a lot smaller area for them to be working with, so that they're not going to shoot our CSS out of alignment when they go to edit the code.
So let's go ahead and click text here, which is kind of one of the most simple options. And for the field instructions, what we're wanting the user to do is input a main headline. So just say that. Let's input your main headline. Required. This depends. I mean, the required is just going to mean they can't save the page unless they put the information in. Let's put required for now because we want the page to kind of maintain its integrity. We can set a default value if we want to. You can put placeholder text in there if you want to. You can put something before or after the content. We're not going to do any of that right now. And then formatting is kind of important. So no formatting means they can, no matter what they put in, we're going to output it exactly like they put it in. If we put in convert HTML to tags, they can place something in here like an input or a BR within brackets, and they can maybe mess with the formatting a little bit. So for now, let's just put no formatting so that they can't change anything. They can just put in words.
And again, you can see how doing stuff like the placeholder text too, this can get really powerful. If I have, whatever our main headline is here, if we have the placeholder text, what it was to start with, they're going to even be able to see like, hey, this was this, now what do I want to change it to?
Right, and if they mess something up, or they forgot the wording maybe, you can leave it as the placeholder text, and if they just delete out the current content, it's going to show that placeholder text again. Okay, so we've got our field added here. Now the next part here is, this is locations. So if this is basically a logic-based structure. So the way it works is show this field group if the post type is equal to post. All that means is this field group is only going to display when you go in to create a new post or edit an existing post, not on pages. So instead we can say if it's equal to page. Now it's only going to display on pages. In the same way, there are other options with then post type. Notice this one here, page template. If page template is X. So we can say if page template is equal to the home page template. Makes it pretty straightforward. Now it's only going to show up on the home page template. So again, if we were to say if page is equal to about home or whatever, there are different ways to do this. Or post type is equal to page is going to show up on every page again. So for now, we're going to say if page template is equal to home page template. Feel free to play around with this to get an idea of how it works, because you can kind of edit this. Later on, you can add additional things. You say, and if the page template is the home page template and X.
And
or you can say or X.
What this really means, if I'm understanding it correctly, is this is where this option, like we're basically making a set of options right now, right? And it's saying like, okay, we want this set of options to display on the homepage template. So then when we go back in to edit our homepage template, that set of options, that custom fields is appearing there.
Right.
It's not going to appear anywhere else. So we're setting up where it's going to appear for us to edit later. Is that correct?
Exactly. We're setting up on which page, on which page or which area of WordPress we'll be able to access this option. Now, there's a whole other set of options here. Order number, position, style. I'm not even going to mess with that right now. We're going to come back to it because I'll show you why that's necessary here in a second. But we've got a lot of information we're working with right now. We need to get a tangible picture of what it looks like. So let's just publish this out real quick. Now, if we go back to edit our home page, which is already set to home page template, and we refresh the page, let's see what it looks like. Do you see where that got added? So we have the title area, we have the WYSIWYG editor, and then below that, we have the main header. So this is what we just added, but what it automatically does is adds it below the defaults that WordPress has set up.
Right.
So we don't even necessarily want to have, or we don't necessarily need to have the home page title at the top there, because it's not going to display on a page anywhere. That's not displaying anywhere. We don't need to have just a random content area because there's nowhere to input random content on this page. So we can actually remove both of those two things so that they don't clutter up our page when somebody goes to edit the homepage template. This is what I always do, so it makes it easier for people to find this. If they go in and think they're going to be adding the main header right up here, they're going to be confused when it doesn't do anything.
Right.
So back in our field group, that's where our options come in. So we've already got the location. We know it's showing on the homepage template. The options here, the order number, 0 this is basically a priority from 0 to whatever number. And if we have a bunch of different field groups, this lets us kind of order them in a logically sequential manner. And then the position, you have normal after content or high after title. And I'll always click high after title for the first one that I create especially. Style, it can be seamless, and I'll show you what that means. If you look at this, well, there's actually, the WordPress area is generally seamless too. It's basically just connected. There's no containing white element around it to separate it out from the background. That's all that means. That's not hugely important. But then hide on screen. Let me just click hide all, update this, and let's look at what that does. Did I update? Nope. So now we've got a vastly simplified page. We've removed the permalinks option, we've removed the text area option, and the first thing we have is main header. This is really useful for creating custom page templates, and I recommend you do it, and then only uncheck the ones that you do need to have there. Usually I'll find I want to have the permalink there so I can change that if necessary, but you can kind of figure this out as you go. And then also revisions, which allows you to back up if you mess something up.
Right.
Those are important to have. So
what about something like categories? Is that something you'd keep on there as well?
No. Categories aren't even going to be listed on a page template. They're only going to be on a post.
That's true.
A post type thing. So categories, tags, featured image we might have, because we can actually use the featured image for something like the background image there. So we might decide to keep that. Let's go ahead and click that so we can keep it. And then I'm also going to change the style to standard real quick. Before we update, go back and look at your page template and see the way it looks right now. And then let's go ahead and update this. Once that's updated, refresh the page and take a look at it where it's not seamless. So this lets us kind of differentiate our groupings a little better, in my opinion. And I usually tend to use this. Just aesthetically, it helps me group things logically a little bit better. So let's go back to our actual homepage here. So we have this main header. The next field we would need is the subheader. And then we'd want a button. A button text that you can change that with. So let's go into edit field group and just add those real quick. Make it really simple. Let's just call this subheader. It's also going to be text input. And let's see, required, yes. No default values. No formatting here. We can close that. Very simple. These are all just text field types, and then we'll say the button text. It's also text, required, and no formatting. Now, let's update this and take a look at the page. Okay, so now we can enter that content in here. Now, just like a lot of other things within WordPress, we've got half of the work done, right?
Right.
So now we've got the ability to enter the content. It's going to be stored. We can say this is the main header. This is subheader. I don't know if that's supposed to be one word or two. This is a button. We can update that and look at the home page, and what do you think is going to happen?
Nothing.
Exactly, nothing. Why is that? Because the homepage template hasn't been set up to be dynamic yet and to pull that content. So in the next section, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and link the things that we've just created into the page template so that it pulls them and replaces Creative WordPress theme, which is right now static, with a dynamically updatable custom field.
Sounds good.